Okay, so in this lesson we are estimating quotients using compatible numbers with fractions and mixed numbers. So we're going to take a look at these two mixed numbers that are being divided, and well, actually 33 and 7/8 is being divided by 5 and 1/3, and we're going to just give the estimated answer by estimating the mixed numbers first. And when you have to use compatible numbers, my best advice for you, as you heard me in the classroom say, let's look at the divisor first and estimate that first before we go ahead and estimate the dividend. And just remember that the divisor is the second number in the division sentence. So that's 5 and 1/3. So let's think about 5 and 1/3 and how we would estimate that to the nearest whole number. Between 5 and between 6 on the number line and our mental number line, we want to say that 5 and 1/3 is fairly close or closer to 5. Okay, so we're going to choose 5 as a good estimated whole number to 5 and 1/3. I'm going to write my division sentence in the same order in which I see it here. And now I'm going to think about the dividend, 33 and 7/8. Where is 33 and 7/8 on the number line? And how does it fall between 33 and 34? Well, we probably all can guess that it's pretty fairly close to 34, being that that 7/8 makes it a very large fraction. However, with compatible numbers, you want to pick a number that's very compatible with 5, what we originally just did with the divisor. So think of the 5 times table and think of a number close to 34 in the 5 times table. And I think we will all agree that we would use 35 in this case. And then therefore it just becomes a very basic, easy division problem. 35 divided by 5 is 7. And 7 is our estimated whole number for this division problem using mixed numbers. So we have another division problem here, and that's 11 and 5/7 divided by 5/8. So again, like I said, let's go ahead and look at the divisor first and estimate that number first. So 5/8, you want to think of the benchmark fractions. Being that 5/8 is a fraction, and it's a fraction less than 1, obviously, we're going to think of the benchmark numbers here. When we think of the number line and all the numbers that are less than 1 but greater than 0, those are the fractions, and the benchmark to estimate these fractions are 0, 1/2, and 1. Now, estimating to 0 is pretty easy because you know the numerator is going to be a very low number in comparison to the denominator. Estimating to a 1, it's going to be just the opposite. The numerator is going to be fairly close to the denominator. But how do you know if it's 1/2? Well, you want to take a look at the denominator, and in this example it's 8, and think of what is half of 8. And we know 4 is half of 8. But this is a 5. 5 is fairly close to 4, so I would estimate this to be around 1/2 on our benchmark. Okay? And so now we're going to take a look at the dividend, 11 and 5/7. And in this case, with compatible numbers, even though you're estimating with compatible numbers, it's okay to just go ahead and obviously 1/2 is going to be compatible with anything. So we're just going to go ahead and estimate this 11 and 5/7 to the best number possible. And on the number line between 11 and 12, we would usually find 11 and 5/7 probably fairly close to the 12 side. Okay. So now this just becomes a division problem of 12 divided by 1/2. And as we all know, the keep, change, and flip is we're going to keep the first number, change the operation, and flip the second fraction, and then really this just becomes the answer 24. So 24 is a good estimated answer to this original problem. And now our last example here, we have another mixed number divided by a fraction less than 1. And since we just spoke briefly about the benchmark fractions and knowing that 1/6 we probably would estimate closer to a 0, we're not going to do that in this case because then our answer would just end up with 0 every time we have a fraction with a numerator of 1. In this case, we're going to take the 1/6 and we're just simply going to leave it as the 1/6. It's pretty easy when you have 1 as a numerator, and I'll show you shortly why. And you're probably thinking ahead of the KFC, that gives you a good clue as to how easy this is going to be. Now all we have to do is just estimate this 8 2/9 to its nearest whole number. Now would that either be 8 or would that be 9? And seeing the 2 in the numerator is very far away from the 9 in the denominator, and we know we're going to estimate this to 8. Okay, so now this problem again, just like before, becomes very easy. It's 8 divided by 1/6, which essentially becomes 8 times 6. And as we all know, is 48. Again, 48 is a good estimated answer for this mixed number division problem.